Hello and welcome to another match from the Summer Cup 2024 in Shogun 2 Avatar 1 versus 1. We are here on the map Ava Ridge Pass, and the series is a match from the lower bracket final, best of 5 to be exact, and it's played between Trebor in the red banners and Klayton in the yellow banners. And I don't remember who picked this map, to be honest, but it shouldn't matter. So there's two dojos here. There's a farmhouse and an archery dojo. Neither of them likely of major importance, but we'll see. Going over the builds, I'll start with Trebor here. So he does bring a leader gen with bone abled. Looks like 4 calf units, 2 heavy rank 5 rank 6 calves and 2 light calves. And then he has familiar builds which he plays or has played throughout the tournament. So it's 3 matchlocks, I believe. Sometimes I think he also plays 4, but this time on this map 3 matchlocks, 2 bows, both of them Ashigaru, rank 2, rank 3. Then he has some lone swords ash, some with Banzai, some rank 6, bulletproof some rank 2, and what did I miss? Long Yari rank 7, some Yari ash, rank 2, most of them it would seem. Yeah, I think that's about it. Quite a huge army as he always brings, so I think he pretty much plays with the Yari ash retainer, which reduces the cost of the units almost every game. And for Klayton, we do have a little more calf. So he has 6 of them. However, 4 of them being light calf, only 2 heavy calf, in the form of 2 rank 6 Yari calves. And then this is very much a classic rush. So 4 Naginata warrior monks rank 6 with some attendant protection, and flanks with Yari Sams rank 2. His general is a full leadership gen. So very interesting, very different builds, very different ideas here being brought on this map. It's actually a bit inverse, the dojos. So the farmhouse would be more useful to Klayton here, and the archery dojo more useful to Trebor. But this way, the dojos shouldn't affect the game too much. So as we can see, also on this map, Klayton is going for surrounding maneuvers for both flanks, leaving the center quite open, which has some advantages, some disadvantages. I mean, you're splitting yourself up, which has the disadvantage that your enemy can, in some situations, just focus on one flank and mop it up while running away from the other. So you have to make sure that the timings are correct and everything. But of course, you do have the advantage that you have a lot of initiative if you go for the surrounding maneuvers. But yeah, so far all we see is positioning and not much else. Trebor trying to get his bow ash into the game, but they can't fire straight, so they have to fire high up in the air. And yeah, usually when they fire in those weird angles, they don't do a lot of damage. So a lot of the accuracy, I think, gets lost due to the lack of speed. So 4 kills here, nothing to write home about. And it looks very slow motion. I mean, Klayton is walking up here on the right. It's not slowed down. This is normal speed. And yeah, which shows me that he's thinking about the right timing to approach here. I have to think how I would approach this. I mean, there's a big wall of Yari Ash in the center. Obviously, something you don't want to run into. Even though they're not highly vetted, it's still annoying. And this army is so much bigger than Klayton's army. that he can't do as many mistakes as Trebor. If Trebor screws up the micro of 1 or 2 units, he still has a lot of units left. You can't say the same about Klayton. So Klayton's build is a bit more difficult to play. But we'll see how he manages. Trebor trying to rest with a light cav. Obviously pulling back there. There was nothing to gain from charging a sword attendant. But right now at this point, I mean, Klayton is in position. I don't know what he's waiting for. He's actually getting his Wako Raiders sniped a little bit from the Boash. Doing good damage, I have to say. So yeah, so right now, I mean, there's nothing that really stops Klayton from bringing some cav in the back of Trebor. The problem is, I mean, when it comes to the heavy cav, they're pretty much equal. It's only the light cav where Klayton has a huge number advantage. So it could be a bit deceiving, thinking you're so much stronger in cav when that's actually not the case here. But still, you can go for the surrounding maneuver. Gives your opponent lots of stuff to worry about, micro-wise. But yeah, he will have to absorb a lot of volleys here from the matchlocks with his attendants, and then try to get good charges with his Nagi Warrior Monks into swords, and hopefully also some other units, while avoiding the spear walls and always retreating and charging back in a different angle whenever a spear wall gets too close. I think that's how you have to play this. So let's see how he does it. Here he actually manages to get into the Matchlock Ash, which doesn't retreat, but he has to be careful because after he routes this one and is now falling back, he will be baited into a Long Yari. So this was good, but now he has to go back immediately. And the longer he stays here, the more these Long Yaris will rack up in kills. Trebor obviously already going stand and fight. It's not a very mobile army, so yeah, he's going to win or die here, so it's a good decision. But yeah, some cav fights here supported by Wakos and Yarisams. These cav engagements are quite beneficial for Klayton. And here we see again similar situation. He got into the matchlocks who weren't retreated in time, but again I think he stays a bit too long here. So now he's in a spear wall, and he still hasn't retreated from the Long Yari. He's not going to break through here, even with Nagi Warrior Monks rank 6. This is a huge micro oversight from Klayton. I mean, it's good that he has a general here. Can inspire, like a wavering unit, can go and stand and fight as well. But this is not going to go well. Warcry popped, but it's not going to break a Long Yari. And let's see. I just keep this in slow motion because otherwise I'll miss some important things. Yarisams, I think they caught a bit of the fire cav, but it's still in decent shape, 40 men. So this is going to be an interesting fight. But in the center, there's a Nagi Warrior Monk having already lost 30 men, as well getting into a matchlock. So this is a recurring problem for Trebor here, who now has a lot of units in his back, which could prove to be a big problem for Ashigaru units when it comes to the morale penalty. Managed to get one Lone Sword in to block the units in the back, which is a good move because they can pop Banzai and save you a little bit in terms of buying time. But I think Klayton is already committing too much, trying to get rid of this one Lone Sword. I mean, he has 1, 2, 3, 4 units here getting blobbed up by one Lone Sword. If he splits this up, And also this Yarisam is AFK. I mean, there's two very, very juicy targets for this Yarisam, and it's just standing there being AFK. Now he moves it, but if he splits up these 4 units, he can do so much damage here in the back of Trebor. I mean, it's unreal. Trebor is running out of protection here, and all of these units are in danger of getting destroyed if Klayton decides to go for them. But when it comes to the main engagements, so the engagements on the flanks, I think it's looking very good for Trebor. So 85 Nagi warrior monks, and there's still 140 men of almost full strength lone sword Ashigaru with Banzai. I mean, this Nagi warrior monk lost so much early on, I think, against the spear wall, that it doesn't have the fighting power to kill off the sword. So this is going to be a big win for Trebor. And I think here's the same situation. Yeah, this Long Yari is still alive, 100 kills. Then there's a backup lone sword. The general of Klayton, I think, went into melee, or maybe it's in stand and fight. I think he went into melee and then in stand and fight. But this is also a big win for Trebor. And now, I mean here, yeah, Nagi monks fighting frontally against the spear wall. Now Klayton is lacking the numbers, or beginning to lack the numbers to make a big difference here. And I have to say, a bit sloppy when it came to the micro of the units he had in the back. I mean, that was such a huge advantage he had over Trebor, and I don't think he made proper use of it, or he was too slow in giving the orders. So now there being no more threats in the center for Trebor, he can turn all his units from the center around, and yeah, basically reverse the side of the attack. So he's no longer flanked in the back, but it's basically now a frontline war here, a frontline battle around the general. And now this is just mopping up what's left. I mean, again, this is the benefit of playing these huge Ashigaru armies. There were lots of mistakes by Trebor when it came to micro of, for example, the matchlocks. But in the end, it doesn't matter, because these matchlocks were all low-value units. And as I said in the beginning, you can afford to make mistakes with those units, because you still have lots of stuff in the back being able to help you out. For example, the spear walls, the lone swords, and some nice bows that I didn't actually see how much damage the bows dealt, but I mean, he was in a very comfortable position, I think. If we exclude that moment where Klayton broke through in the back, but he didn't really capitalize on that. Bulletproof performing quite well on only level 2. Not sure which unit they got the kills on. Maybe they killed a couple attendants as well. So yeah, this Long Yari has been fed with Nagi monks. All the skirmish units didn't actually do too much. I mean, there's one well-performing Matchlock Ash. The other ones weren't decisive in this game. I think it was the melee core that was decisive in winning Trebor this battle. And again, for Klayton, I mean, all his units got decent number of kills, but the numbers aren't really that impressive if you consider how many more there were left in the end. Also questionable to bring 2 Yarisams on the flank against a player like Trebor. I mean, you know he's not going to play a lot of Gaff, so what's the point of bringing 2 Yarisams? But yeah, that's I think a minor detail. This game came down more to the approach of Klayton and the micro, and I think he made some big micro mistakes. But either way, this means that Trebor leads the series 1-0. And I'm looking forward to game 2. So see you then. Thank you for watching. Welcome back to game 2. We are here on Chikugo River, which I actually checked between game 1 and 2. So this map was picked by Trebor, so that means that Ava Ridge Pass was picked by Klayton. On this map, on the Two Dojo Island, we do have a workshop and an archery dojo. A little underwhelming. Usually there are more important dojos there. And a sword dojo on the single dojo island. Very interesting. So for Klayton, we have a somewhat bigger army this time. So I think he also went with the Ashigaru cost reduction retainer, because there's lots of ash here. So 3 Matchlock Ash Vanilla, 3 Yari Ash, 4 Lone Sword Ashigaru with Banzai, 1 Bulletproof rank 4, a Daikyu rank 5, and another Yari Ash going for the Sword Dojo. Then for his Gaff, so far I only see 3 units, there might be more. So it's 2 Light Calf and a Bow Calf. Interesting that he went for a Bow Calf, I have to say, because he already has this this Daikyu with 200 range, but we'll see how he uses it. And then he has his unchanged leadership gen. And for Trebor, let's see. I suppose I have to speed this up so I can have a better look. Yeah, again, 2 heavy calf, so unchanged there. I count 1 light calf only this time. Maybe the second one is hidden. Then 1, 2, 3 matchlocks in the form of Ashigaru. Bow Ash rank 2, Bow Ash rank 3, so he sticks with 2 Bow Ash. Oh, no, it's actually 3rd Bow Ash. And then his main line is once again made of lone swords, 3 of them with Banzai, 1 of them with rank 6. And again, a long Yari. So this means this unit, unless they did a unit refresh between the games, this means that this unit has replenishment. And there's also a Yari-Sam accompanying the Matchlock Ash in the forest being hidden. So both players going for the Two Dojo Island being pretty straightforward. I don't agree with the decision to just give Klayton the Sword Dojo. I think there should be 1 unit denying it, because this could be quite big. But we'll see. Maybe he still does it. Maybe he has a light calf. This Yari-Sam looks like will be going for it. I think it should be able to get there in time, I think, at least to deny it. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. So no increased range matchlocks for Klayton, which you can't really use that good here anyway. But there's obviously these 3 Bow Ash, which are lethal and a good counter to Matchlock Ash with this terrain, I would say. So the Bow Ash already firing, of course, with 150 range. And it looks like if Klayton gets any closer, at least here, Trebor will also get the first volley from the matchlocks. Or no? Okay, sometimes they don't want to fire. I think he is quite even. Oh, Klayton even gets the first one. I think he had an attack order, maybe. And this is now just a classic standoff, it would seem. But I think, I mean, Trebor has 3 bow units firing in the back, and Klayton has 1 bow unit firing from the back. And yes, it's a Daikyu, but I mean, there are no high-value targets to shoot at, which would make these volleys from Daikyu cost efficient. I mean, does Trebor really care that his 1 Bow Ash gets sniped by a Daikyu? I don't think so. I think he will be pretty relaxed about that. So I think cost efficiency-wise, this bow-ash setup is much better in this position of the map, at least for Trebor. I mean, that's also why I wouldn't recommend playing with a bow gen against huge builds like this, because there's just so much to shoot at, and not a lot of expensive units to make it worth it to snipe it and to use ammunition. And now he has the same problem with his Daikyu Sam. And yeah, his Matchlock Ash are just getting destroyed by Bow Ash. I mean, they can't do a lot anymore here. I think Klayton, recognizing that it's not going well, abandoning the island, which could give him the better position for the Daikyus to be able to use the range advantage. But of course, this means leaving two dojos, one of them being an archery dojo for Trebor. What's happening here? Fire Calf against Yari Calf. I think there was a bit of support from the Klayton's Yari Ash. 30 kills. That's huge. So this is going very well for Klayton's Fire Calf. But unless Trebor goes straight into a spear wall, I think this Yari Sam should be able to route the Yari Ash if he chooses to do so. You could also choose to just decap and just run around in circles. But yeah, you can see in the balance of power that Klayton already lost a lot of men just to those Bow Ash. Let's have a look at these kills. 57, 125, and 55. And the matchlocks, I mean, this one's on 0. I think I just never had line of sight, it seems. This one's on 82. I mean, good stats for, I mean, considering that it's all just Ashigaru. And these Daikyu on 70, but they're only Ashigaru kills. I mean, as I said, it's hard to make these high cost units work against Ashigaru peasant builds. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. Oh, I think... Are we actually going to see an engagement here? Yari Ash... No, Yari Sam charging into Yari Ash. They get into Spear Wall, but... they're still getting kind of flanked. But I think Trebor aborts the charge, so that battle is postponed. Klayton bringing some calf over. Oh yeah, the bow calf, I forgot about that. Only 20 kills, so it hasn't been firing for too long yet. So it definitely needs to get this unit into the game. It's probably a good idea to do so on the flank, because here there's too much skirmish to protect the core of Trebor. And I mean, he's already lost so much. Is it really worth it to sacrifice a Yari Ash just to decap the sword dojo? I don't think so. It's just going to die, and then he's going to get the sword dojo, the archery dojo anyway. This just makes Klayton's army even smaller than it already is. So Trebor going for the retreat. Doesn't want to go up against Klayton's calf and bow calf. And I mean, time is in his favor. I mean, he doesn't need to rush anything here. This is very old school. And that is just a giant blob of units with bows. You don't see it a lot. But yeah. Let's see, I mean, these Yari Sams will need some support eventually. Maybe getting it now from Trebor's Fire Calf. Let's see, Fire Calf versus Fire Calf. I think Klayton getting a good charge, because Trebor has to go uphill. And Klayton has the general nearby, which can put Inspire on the calf, activate Rally, and just be a general presence. This light calf can backcharge, I think. I mean, the Bokev obviously needs to get out, but I think overall this is a waste of Cav by Trebor. The Yarisams might come in a little too late. If the light Cav charges the back now, this fire Cav might die very rapidly. Let's have a look. I mean, the Yarisams might cause this battle to be an even trade between the fire Cavs. I think there's some friendly fire here. But yeah, if you pulls the Cav out now, I think everything here is going to just rout. Yarisam's getting hammer and anviled. Still probably killed a couple Cav units there. And now he can actually go for the sword dojo, but yeah, still. It's quite doubtful as to whether that's going to make a big difference here. Daikyu has been shooting a lot while I wasn't looking, so 260 kills. But again, no kills on the units that matter, which are these 4 lone swords that are still completely healthy. And if these Daikyus run out of ammo, then what's he going to do about all these lone swords? But he still has time to think. He's going to get the sword dojo. He has a Cav unit in the back, which is a bow Cav. So maybe it's going to kill off like 1 or 2 matchlocks if Trebor is not careful. But right now they're not firing. I mean, no reason not to be honest. Maybe he forgets it's a bow Cav. I think they might even... Yeah, now they have the bows out. Okay, nice. And, oh, I forgot to mention, there's a no-dachi vanilla in the build for Klayton, so it isn't a full lone sword, it's actually 5 swords. Small advantage there, obviously, for him. Also a good combination with the bulletproof. But Trebor has no incentive to take any engagement here on the flank. He can just get a couple shots off and then block the push with Yari Ash, and then have his lone swords behind, waiting for the right moment to get in the melee as well. But Klayton pushing up again, getting dangerously close to the bows with his lone swords, who are now in loose formation. Taking some damage here. Trebor just going into classic spear wall. I mean, Klayton's lone swords now have better stats than Trebor's with the sword dojo. But if he waits here for too long, they're going to take a significant amount of damage. And I think the Daikyus are out of ammo as well. I mean, what he's doing right now is waiting for his Bokev to do lots of damage, but I don't think it's a worthy trade-off. Sacrificing some lone swords who are just standing there, getting shot at without doing anything, just to buy some time for your Bokev to shoot as well. I mean, I don't really get the thinking here. Not actually getting charged by a depleted Yarikav. I mean, it's in the forest. The charge won't be devastating, I think. They lost 15 men. But again, that's also not ideal. But you can see this that Klayton is thinking about how to approach this spear box, and I mean, realistically, there's no way at the moment. The Bokev isn't going to be the key to the box, I fear. Already 120 kills, that's not bad actually. I think at some point he will decide that he actually has to go for it. Bulletproof Sam's going first against matchlocks. That's obviously a good decision here. But again, these no-dachi are getting charged again. I think even by the same units. I mean, what a waste of a no-dachi. They might actually rout. Yeah, I mean, wow. No-dachi 2 kills. That really shouldn't happen. think this engagement is, or was quite favorable, but given that it's such a weird formation and I think the center part of Klayton's unit is exposed, so Trebor can actually fire decent matchlock shots into it. Give a wrong attack order there on the general, but this lone sword by Klayton is very exposed. But Trebor will have to pop Banzai very soon here, because lone swords are very low in morale, even on level 9. And I don't think he got it out. They're shattered immediately. And what's happening in the center? Random Yari-Ash advance. I doubt that this was worth it. But yeah, Trebor doesn't need to take these piecemeal engagements on the flank. He just has to block with the spears as good as he can. Now he's going to stand and fight, which is a bit late, but will make a big difference. So this stand and fight is basically equalizing the sword dojo advantage that Klayton has. Unless Klayton goes to stand and fight himself, but his general is just sort of standing there, being used as a calf unit. And I think Klayton's bow calf is firing at the general. I mean, he's not going to go very far there with 7 armor. And let's just have a look at what's left here. Depleted Nodachi, depleted bulletproof, decent-sized lone swords, and an out-of-ammo Daikyu, and the vanilla Yari-Ash, and the depleted bow calf against lone swords, Yari-Ash, matchlock, long Yari, almost full strength long Yari, depleted lone swords, one more Yari-Ash. I mean, this is again just like in game 1. This is too much to break in the end. Again, due to some unnecessary early losses. Is Daikyu destroying a bow-ash in melee? You don't see that very often. And now deciding not to charge the spear wall. That's a nice change. And the general has died. So that's GG for game 2. A very static, long game for Shogun, definitely. But again, I think this is a map where the approach that Trebor takes to the tournament can work pretty well. I think he has picked this map a lot in almost every series so far. That and Crossroads, I think he's played a lot. And yeah, man, these units are super cost efficient. I mean, just think about how little they cost and how many kills they got here. The calf was negligible. I mean, it wasn't really a factor in this game because he didn't rely on it. And I doubt that these 300 kills were on any high-value important units. So yeah, I think this is a game that I mean, if Klayton decided to go for the early aggression. Without spending too much time on a skirmish fight that he had no chance in. I think he would have had better chances to win this game. Not great chances, because I think the build by Trebor was a bit stronger for the map, but still he wouldn't have run out of men that dramatically if he played it more aggressively in the beginning. But this makes the score 2-0 in favor of Trebor, and so there will be at least one more game in this best of 5. So I'll see you in game 3. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Welcome back to game 3. We are here on Klayton's pick once again, which is Waterfalls. And I'm looking down into the valley due to the fact that both players have decided to position their entire army there. So dojo-wise, there's a farmhouse being neglected by both players, or maybe not, but being mostly neglected by both players on the top. And then there's a workshop and an archery dojo in the valley. Just from judging from first sight here, I see already a lot of skirmish, so I think this archery dojo was the motivating factor in both players deciding to go down here. But I'll go over the armies in more detail. So unchanged general for Trebor, leader and bow. Heavy calf, light calf, I think. No, I mean, yeah, there's a second light calf, so 3 calves in total that we can see for Trebor. I'm only going to count this later. Yeah, I can distinguish the units a little bit better on Klayton's side here. So he has brought 1, 2, 3 matchlocks, all of them Ashigaru once again, so just like in game 2. Then he has some bows, 2 bow ash, vanilla, and 1 high level bow in a bow warrior monk 200 range. And also a matchlock warrior monk rank 5 that he likes to play a lot usually, but it's the first time I see it in this series, so he didn't bring it in game 1 and 2. And then he has some Yari Ash again as backup, and a Nodachi vanilla core. With also a Nagi Warrior Monk rank 6. I like this combination with Nodachi Nagi Warrior Monks a lot, so I think this is quite good. And another Yari Sam, which didn't work out well for him in game 1, but we'll see. Calf-wise, Yari Calf, Light Calf on the left, and that might be it, because this army is quite expensive. So for Trebor, now we can see a little bit better what he's brought. 1, 2, 3 swords, 2 of them with Banzai, a Bulletproof Sam rank 2, a Long Yari rank 7, so he's played it every game so far. Oh no, make it 4 swords, so there's 2 rank 6. Couple of Yari Ash, probably 4 on rank 2. And then 1, 2, 3 matchlocks with low upgrades. And again, a bow Ashigaru. And yeah. So when it comes to the skirmishing, I think this time this is very much in Klayton's favor. So he has a lot of low value skirmish units to match Trebor's skirmishers, but then he also has these matchlock warrior monks and the bow warrior monk, which he can save to kill the more important units in the back. I think this is the plan. Or actually, there's also a Daikyu, which I only spotted just now on the hill, which is a decent position for it. Would be probably better for even better for bow monk, given that they need the forest protection with a low armor. A Daikyu can do pretty well almost everywhere, but yeah, this means that it's a bit more equal now in the skirmish department, but still a slight favor to Klayton with this 1 extra high value matchlock. So 1 matchlock from Klayton already getting charged. I don't think if he gets it out somewhat alive, this could have been worth it. 18 kills, maybe. Trebor's light calf on the flank, just going for a scouting expedition, not actually going for the farmhouse. You might as well go for it, I think. If it's just being offered to you, no reason not to. So let's see what the bow warrior monks are firing at. Looks like bow ash. Unnecessary, but doesn't have any other targets, probably doesn't have to wait. Maybe he hasn't spotted the Daikyu yet. It was only visible for a short time, then it was hidden again. Now it's visible again and firing. Let's see what they're firing at. Wait, they're sort of mixing with the bow ash. And they're taking a lot of time here with the animation. Why are they... Okay, now they're firing. And probably the Matchlock Warrior Monk, right? Yeah, so this is a mistake by Klayton. He really needs to get them out of the range. They don't like being fired at by bows. 2 armor, like all Warrior Monk units. And these snapshots at the Yari-Ash are not going to make the losses worth it. But at the same time, the positioning in this choke point makes it somewhat easier for Klayton to deal damage here. Especially early on, these bow warrior monks will be much more effective than the Daikyus, I think. But Klayton needs to get these 2 warrior monk units out of the Daikyu range, because then there's really nothing of high value for the Daikyus to shoot at, which is what you want. Firecav in a weird formation trying to get around the archery dojo to charge these skirmishes. Bow Ash wouldn't worry too much about them, but you really don't want them to get into the matchlocks. And Klayton's counter charge is also really weird formation-wise, so that went downhill, also around the dojo. But unlike Trebor's Cav, his one is actually getting caught by a long Yari. So these Yari Sams are a bit too late to the party. And this light Cav has no reason not to go around the back here. I mean, you might as well have the presence of a unit in your opponent's back, just to be a nuisance. But just like game 2, this is a game that's developing quite slowly. Yeah, these Yari-Sams are not going to enjoy life right now. Getting intercepted by lone swords, they will lose a lot in the retreat, or have already lost it. Yeah, going down to 90 men. Now Trebor needs to be careful. These light Cav could get a free charge into the lone swords. Why? No, he's not taking it. This is a big mistake from Klayton. This could be so devastating. Now he's doing it, but only after letting the lone swords get the charge on the Nagi warrior monks. If he goes in with the Cav first, they don't do so much damage to these monks. It's probably a good decision to get the general closer. Good decision to get the Yari-Sams to go around. Now he just needs to just not go into the spear wall again like in game 1. Yeah, okay, now he spotted it. Also good bow shots on the long Yari. They're very vulnerable to bows. And Trebor needs to react here because you don't want your long Yari to be charged in the back. So he needs to kill off this Yari-Sam ASAP. What's happening here? Daikyu is going into the range of matchlocks. I don't think this is necessary. This is it's probably a micro oversight. Now he's correcting it. In the meantime, Trebor's general is sniping some matchlock ash. I mean, this is quite even the way it's developing. This isn't game like game 1 or 2 where Trebor had a big numbers advantage throughout. They both have quite a big builds here. It looks like Trebor spotted the light Cav or was intercepted. I am not sure. But they're both vanilla, of course, so this should be decided by dojos, workshop, and farmhouse for Trebor. So unless someone got a beneficial charge, this should be better for Trebor. Maybe he got intercepted because he lost more. I mean, I'm just having a look at what happens until something happens that's actually of importance to the outcome of this game. Because so far, both have it in their hand. The main engagement still hasn't started, despite heavy losses on both sides. But this is still an open game for both. Trebor actually getting his matchlock that was at the workshop into the forest position, which is probably a good idea. Get it closer to the action, get it into the forest. And Klayton wasn't contesting for the workshop anyway there. A lone expedition force of Nagi attendants chasing away about 3 units of Klayton. And the light cav is actually killed off now, so this is nicely done by Klayton. And the warrior monks on 160 kills, they probably have 100 more or so in them, I would assume. And the Daikyu is 83 kills. Obviously in a 1v1 killing contest, and not in a 1v1, just in a contest of who can get the most kills. Usually the bow warrior monk performs much better, because you can just fire so much more rapidly. But the Daikyu has other strength, the armor being the most important probably. I mean, in the 1v1 contest, sword core against sword core, there's obviously still the advantage for Trebor. He has rank 9 lone swords. Klayton's core consists of vanilla Nodachi, and the supporting units of the Nagi warrior monk is quite depleted. So I can understand the rationale here for Klayton to delay a little bit, and the skirmish is actually going quite well for him. So this is actually a game that should tilt in his favor the longer this goes on. The light cav, is it actually going to take back the farmhouse? He definitely should. Okay. Small micro mistake. Now he's now he's going for it. And I think Trebor recognized here that in the long run he's going to lose the skirmish battle, so he's going on the attack for the first time in the series. You can still be aggressive with Yariash. It's very much a possibility. It's just a little bit more awkward sometimes because of the positioning and the formation of the unit. But Klayton getting some very valuable shots here with his Metro Warrior Monks, which he has to retreat now, of course. Could retreat when about back here, where he has a decent line of sight. And Klayton has a spear wall bugging out, being positioned with the back towards the enemy, less than ideal. And well, this is now about the reaction of Klayton's Nodachi, I would say. Here he's going for the charge. Trebor going into spear wall right in time. Here, I think he got into spear wall as well. Just the animation made it look like he was running. But Klayton not getting a charge with the Nodachi, which is quite wasteful actually. Sorry. The Yariash that had turned the back to the enemy is obviously routing now. And this Yariash, even though in spear wall, is getting just overpowered by 3 units here. So Klayton has to get these flanking units into the game ASAP. Still has this Yarisam in the back, which could be quite valuable. But it appears that he is having some morale issues here. I mean, look at these 3 no-touchies. One got the last minute charge, and 2 of them didn't get a charge at all. And when you don't get the charge with a no-touchy, it's not going to hold for very long. I mean, this unit is already wavering at 90 men, fighting against the spear wall. Now it's wavering, no Banzai popped. This no-touchy having an even fight against the Yariash is obviously a waste of money here. This one has already popped Banzai. It's going to hold for a bit longer, but then it's going to rout as well. So the main engagement is not going well at all for Klayton. So it's more about how he manages his retreat here to buy his skirmishers more time to do significant amount of damage here. So he needs some blockers in his army to enable his skirmishers to do what's necessary to win here. But one light calf of Trebor slipped through the cracks, and Klayton's light calf, which was going for the farmhouse, isn't there in time to support. And now this light calf has a free charge on either 3 bow units or the general. So there's no protection from Klayton whatsoever. And his own light calf is being mismanaged here, going into the line of fight of a matchlock. And what's the light calf going to do here? I mean, it's going to go into the Daikyu. Okay, I mean, that's decent. But the Daikyu is not the unit that's chasing him down right now. He needs to kill the units that are chasing him down. He's targeting the light calf here, which is good. But it's both Bow Ashigaru in the forest against a moving target. So this light calf is not going to be too bothered by that. And I mean, Klayton's light calf got decent charges into 2 good skirmish units here. But again, nothing to stop the onslaught of Ashigaru. And these matchlock warrior monks didn't really fire too much, I think, after the push from Trebor started. The long Yariash having beaten off a Yarisam that was in the back. And now you can see that it's just more and more red here on the battlefield. So Klayton running out of numbers. I mean, he managed to basically kill off the skirmish capabilities of Trebor, but he doesn't have enough left to kill off the long Yari, to kill off the lone swords, and the couple remaining Yariash. Very nice charge from the general. It's going to do lots of damage here. This light calf might get the matchlock ash. But yeah, this match is over nonetheless. I mean, this shows, I mean, in the end, this game showed, I think, the vulnerabilities of bringing so many skirmishers trying to outmatch your opponent, who you expect to also bring lots of skirmishers. Is that once one player decides to go for the aggression, you discover how weak you actually are. But Klayton definitely had chances to win this if he actually used any of his no-dachi appropriately. Like, every single no-dachi was managed badly. The micro just wasn't there. And if you miss micro every unit in your main backline, you're not going to get good results there. I mean, good kills for Klayton here, but like in the skirmish department. But I mean, these no-dachi. He even had the time to retreat them a little bit and then get downhill charges into the river. That was also an option, but he didn't use it. No-dachi 3 kills. That's yeah, that's terrible. I'm sorry. But yeah, Obviously, this means that Trebor has his third win in a row, and he wins the best of 5. And gets revenge for his earlier loss to Klayton in the upper bracket. And this also means that Klayton is getting 3rd place in the tournament, since this was the lower bracket final, so it's basically also indirectly the battle for 3rd place, meaning the loser gets the 3rd place. And the winner, so Trebor, gets to have another chance to play for 1st place, so he will move into the upper bracket and play a final against myself, which will be played quite soon, I would think. So I think, I mean, I'm recording this on Friday. You'll probably also see this on Friday. We'll play the Fall of the Samurai Championship final tomorrow, most likely, and then the Vanilla Tournament final most likely a week after. So there's 2 very interesting finals to look forward to, and they will definitely be on my channel. So until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.